Okay, we are finally live. Normally, this is Trevor's fault, but we know whose fault it is this time. Those of you in the chat, we welcome you, and you already know. Ayo, yokoso, which means welcome if you're new. We are doing a special Handhelds United in Tears episode tonight. We are rating these XR glasses, and I've got my expert panelists. See what I did there? No, no, okay, fine. I got my expert panelists here to help me because I can't see anything with these. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. So we're going to do a tier list, and you're going to help us too, because we have a live tier list maker link going in the chat, and it's only live for about an hour. So if you're catching this afterwards, hit us up in the Discord and share with us what your tier list looks like. So let's get started, guys. We've been waiting a long time already, or at least I know some of my co-hosts and audience have been waiting a long time already.
Yeah, we have.
No. I was waiting for that. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Okay. So oops, this is the wrong one. Skill issue. Okay. Corporate wants you to identify the differences between these different things here.
What is PTSD from what you just said.
Yeah. Big time.
Those freaking night bridge tests. Those that sounds like a night bridge test. You know, they need to identify, and then you have like a freaking 200 questionnaire that takes 2 hours, and it's so boring.
Oof. Okay. All right. So we're gonna start things off here with our meme here, the Goovis XR head-mounted display. This is clearly an S tier, right? Oh, and I should say, if you're new to this content, please do check out our other episodes where we rated some other products. Like we rated the best x86 handhelds, we rated the best the best Android handhelds. So now we're going to be talking about XR glasses in particular. And just to verify and let you all know, we're not talking about things like the Meta Ray-Ban display glasses or the Inmo Air 3 glasses, which are a little bit more like smart glasses. They can do things like display and stuff like that. Like if you want to see too loud space blown up, like by all means you could do that, but I don't think they're really catered towards playing games. So what we're focusing on today is more so display glasses. So this would give you a big screen depending on how far you are away from the wall, and give you a nice gaming experience that way. All right, so anyone want to take a stab at this one? I mean, this is an instant D tier for me. That's all I'll say about it. It's too big and bulky.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So here's, like, we're memeing on this. I haven't tried them specifically. I have tried like the bigger, better version, which technically outperforms pretty much every XR on the glasses except the new R1s. I get why we memeing it, but I also think there's a great use for them. It's just they're one-trick ponies. That's the thing. Like, if you're looking into gaming, all that kind of stuff, not really. But if you're looking at specifically watching stuff, like, you know that you want to get XR just to watch stuff, there's actually value to this because you have a more immersed experience compared to XR glasses. You feel more like you are in a black theater. You know what I mean? I would put D.
Okay.
So I have a completely different take on that. And so I'm new to XR, right? And I've told you guys this before. I have 2 pairs and my experience is limited. So, and what I learned is that I'm very experienced with VR. You know, we've had a ton of VRs. And so when I started getting into XR, I was disappointed with the lack of immersion. So I had to learn that that's not really what XR is for. For me at least, it's for content consumption, like whether I'm watching YouTube or I'm watching, or I'm playing a game, or even for productivity at work. It's not about immersion. It's about, a large screen and stuff like that. So for me, like, based on what you're telling me about the Govis and what I've learned about XR, I would put it as F tier because it's not really for what I'm looking at this tier list. Does that make sense?
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I mean, the terms, to be fair, the terms AR, XR, and MR, that those type of words get like thrown around everywhere. So yeah, if you are looking for something more like a VR experience, and for those who don't, like use the word like immersion, we're talking about like, yeah, a big screen where you do feel like you're in a theater. Like most of these glasses will do that without being this like helmet type thing that you're wearing, right? Yeah,
I mean,
I think that's fair.
yes, but it does feel different. For having had firsthand experience, again, not specifically with that headset, but with what they're doing, which technically they're not even called XR glasses, they're called
Yeah,
HMD.
yeah, head
Uh,
mounted display. Yeah.
yes, they do that. Like, you know how, I mean, for those of you who are watching us right now who got to experience XR, and I'm sure this is something that will come, over the episode tonight, is they always talk about how big the screen is, like 171-inch theater screen, and we all know that realistically it's kind of it's overblown a bit. When it comes to the Goovis, you actually do feel far more like you are in a big room with a big headset. It's kind of in between what VR does, which VR literally will put you in a room, right? Um, and XR does, which is kind of creating that effect, but not quite hitting it. But I'm okay with wherever it goes. This thing is too expensive. That's the reality of it.
Fair. And that's a good point that you made up about that you mentioned, Clef, about like how big it is. And that is the most common misconception I just have to share for everybody. And, so it's shameless self plug here. I have a video that specifically talks about, things that they don't tell you in the reviews, including my own reviews. Generally, I don't mention it because the audience that is familiar with that, they already kind of know. So I try not to repeat myself too much, but perspective is a huge thing, right? Like we're all sitting in front of our desk right now. And like for Clef, like this monitor is not going to look like the screen inside the glasses is not going to look like 100 inches. It's not going to look like 200 inches, and that's because he's sitting close enough to like other monitors where his eyes are going to be like, no, it ain't that big. You know what I mean? But if like he was sitting down in his living room across, like sitting across the wall from his actual TV, like that's going to look like it's a much bigger display. And that's just what your eyes do. Okay, so let's move on. Oh, Too Loud, did you have something to say about this Goovis art?
Well, for me personally, it's not really my thing. I'm not really big into VR headsets. I like XR because of the form factor of being more like just like regular glasses. I like, having spatial awareness, and if you take away my spatial awareness, it makes me a bit uncomfortable. So it's not my style of peripheral.
See, and this goes back to exactly what Clef was talking about the difference between glasses and head mounted display. Anyway, this was just a fun exercise. Let's go on to the real meat and potatoes here. Let's so this one here first is the Luma. This one is the Luma Pros. So the Viture Luma Pros, this is their current lineup. This is not the base model. There is a base model which is called the Viture Lumas. Now, to be clear, there is a slight difference between those two. The Viture Lumas don't have like a little camera on the front, and the display quality is like slightly lower, if I'm not mistaken. The Lumas were the only ones that I don't have personal experience with. But I know Clef has had personal experience, and if you haven't seen it, Clef has a great review on this video, on these glasses too. So where would you put these, Clef?
So that is the Luma standard, right? Is
a Luma
that...
Pro. Luma Pro.
Okay. Luma Pro. I'm gonna actually, you slotted them perfectly. I'm gonna say B tier.
Mm-hmm. And just as a point reference, it's as a point of reference, these are $499 on their website right now currently, unless you use a discount code from one of us, then you score yourself a little discount and you go to support us. But yeah, $500.
Yes, and the thing is, they're good glasses, but knowing what else is on that lineup, it wouldn't make sense to me to put them A tier. I'm not gonna lie, I even hesitated with C tier. But the thing is, the product is good. Like there's no doubt about that. The product is good. It has some faults. For those of you who researched it, you've probably seen a bunch of pictures on Reddit. I'm not gonna go into that unless somebody else does, but I don't feel the need to. Overall, B tier I think is fair, and it is a good product, but there's better on that list.
Okay, I think that's fair. How about you two gentlemen? Are you familiar with the Luma Pros?
Anyone? You're muted. You're still muted.
Not enough. I'm sorry about that. I was trying to clean my glasses. I also didn't want the background noise. But Not enough to speak confidently on it. I would think that the better thing to do here would be like, I guess when we get to them, just to give the main differences between these and like the beasts and stuff like that, because I think that's what people would most value from that.
I think that's a good point. So as a point of reference for these are glasses that you would put on and you would have a, the big display in front of you. Again, depending on how far away you are from the wall. These do have the dimming, which means like you can make the inside of the glasses turn dark, three levels, right? So off, and then like a kind of mid dimming level, and then completely dark. And when I say completely dark, like it's dark enough whereby you can't see your surroundings very well. Like you would have to try pretty hard. And so like the mid level maybe you could use outside when you're walking, on a bright day, but you definitely can't use the darker level. That's for sure. These don't have the fancy what's called like pinning or anchoring or 3-DOF. And
do they have the side mode?
No, you have to use that through software. So if you have it connected to your phone, it can. So just a point of reference for people about the side mode. So it has different names, but basically what happens with the side mode is imagine yourself with the big, screen in front of you, and then it shrinks down to like a corner, and you can choose the corner, but you can only do that with these glasses when you have it connected to a phone or like one of their neck bands or something like that. So you can't do it independently. So if you have it on, say you have it plugged into a handheld, you can't do that unless you are also using their software. But with their software, you can do it. Yeah, with their software, you can do it. And on Steam Deck, if you have this plugged into a Steam Deck, there's a thing called Decky XR. And Decky XR, you can do that with Decky XR as well. Decky XR actually supports, I believe, most of these glasses on this list, if not all.
I like to think of side mode as like picture in picture, just the real world is your main screen, and then the little cart is whatever you're watching.
Yeah, that's a great description. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and for me personally, I put this in the same spot as Clef. I think they're good, especially for the picture quality that they offer. They are a little bit pricey for like what else is out there, and like feature wise, right? So like if I were looking for the best bang for my buck, and I was just trying to get into XR glasses, it probably wouldn't be these. Despite them being like very good overall.
I think if I may add, a great way to like summarize the Luma Pro, being today versus when they came out, it's not the product I would recommend you buy, but if you bought it, it's also good enough that you don't feel like you need to have FOMO. You know what I mean? I think it's a good way to put it.
That is a great way to put it. Yes. Yeah, and I see some comments in the chat, and they're talking about lens covers. Yeah, some of these do have lens covers. These ones don't. The current generation of glasses, most of them don't have lens covers unless they don't come with like a dimming function built in, because the dimming function generally for the ones that have it is so good that you don't realistically need the cover on it. Like if you do want the cover, it's literally to like block your peripheral vision, to block like your side vision. You know what I mean? Because like your central vision and like what's in front of you will be mostly blocked by the darkening anyway. But yeah, that's a great question. Thank you, Mojal, for that. So when we're looking at this, do you guys, based on what we've said though, do you think that it warrants a different positioning, or we want to wait till we populate this a little more?
I think wait to populate it a little bit more.
Okay.
I do want to give a quick shout out to PJ the Trucker. Thank you for the super chat. And actually, his question is good, and I think it pertains to the conversation really well. For those who are in the chat that are not that familiar, he said a lens type might be a good differentiator too: pancake, bird bath, prism, etc. And
yes.
Well, so the goal, I think, what we'll do is we'll tackle the super chats by the end, just so that, because these episodes can get very long, but we'll tackle them as a whole. But yes, this is definitely something we will address. The different types of optics.
Yes, thank you. So great point. These ones are Luma Pros have bird bath optics, the traditional bird bath optics. That basically means like a triangle shaped mirror that is inside the lens frame itself. Basically, it has a tiny little micro OLED display. Most of these use Sony micro OLEDs, and then it just reflects off of a mirror and then into your eye. That's how these work. Okay, so let's move on to one which I know everyone here has firsthand experience with. Can
I have a
yes,
special request? can we do the well, I think it's going to make sense, because can we do the Pro XR next, just because I think it's going to make a lot of sense if we compare it to the successor.
Sure. So Viture Pro XR right here. Okay. This one here. Yeah. What do we want to say about the Viture Pro XR? For the record, for everyone, the Viture Pro XR is not technically a last gen flagship from Viture. And this means that while you can buy them, I don't think you can buy them brand new off of Viture's website anymore. I'll have to confirm that. You can buy them refurbished, including from Viture themselves on eBay, for significantly less, like oftentimes under $200 currently as of this video. Yep. All right. So what do we have to say about the Viture Pro XRs?
So what's the difference between the Luma Pros and the Pro XRs? Because I mean, like when we're talking about the Luma Pros, knowing what we know now about the other devices, glasses in the lineup, I'm concerned that the price point is very impactful, for at least for me, because you know, I'm impulsive, but I'm cheap, right? So like, so where's the difference between the Pros and the XRs?
GG can add if I'm missing, but the two probably biggest changes that I can think of is, one, the Pro XR actually included a cover, and two, the FOV is, you know, considerably smaller on the Pro XR.
You know, and I'll talk on the XR a little bit. I liked them a lot. I thought they were awesome glasses, especially for the time. I think they still hold up today, especially if you get them under $200. You know, they're still using that Sony micro OLED. I don't know if they actually came with the cover, Clef, or if it was a separate purchase, because mine didn't come with a cover.
Oh, interesting.
So
we're talking about the Pro XR, just to be clear.
Just the Pro XRs, yes. But I will say, you know, that in current, like comparing it to the current lineup, like things like the Beast and stuff like that, it is lacking a bit of features, like pinning. It does have diopter adjustment for those who wear prescription glasses. But my biggest thing though with the XRs, the Pro XRs to me though, was that, you know, I don't have a small head. I have kind of a big head, and I don't like the narrowness of the frame. If the frame feels a little bit narrow face, and that was my biggest gripe with them. Other than that, they were phenomenal.
Yeah, you brought up some great points there, Too Loud. Besides the FOV that was also mentioned, so if memory serves, the Pro XRs are 46 degrees field of view, and the Luma Pros are 52. So what does this mean? Like, you know, if you're just not looking at numbers specifically. So I think a lot of people that never experienced XR glasses before may have also experienced, you know, something like a Quest headset, like Matt was talking about, right? So if we put this in numbers, when you put on one of these VR headsets, like the whole picture the picture takes up most of like what you can see, right? You might see like the edges kind of darkened or black, right? And that's the kind of like looking through goggles type of thing. And this is what the expectation is when people put on these glasses, and that's simply not the case. And that's why it's more comparable to like a big screen, like almost like a projector inside of the glasses that you're wearing, right? Obviously, these are also way smaller than something like a big VR headset. Now, that said, I would say that if you have never used XR glasses before at all, to Loud's point, these do hold up. You know, if you've used any pair of XR glasses before, you will notice the difference in the field of view. It sounds like 6 degrees isn't a lot. 6 degrees diagonal is noticeable though. The other difference is even though they're both using Sony micro OLEDs, if I'm not mistaken, these ones are using the 0.55 or 0.5 inch Sony micro OLEDs. These are using the new 0.68 Sony micro OLEDs, and what that allows for is these are 1080p and these are 1200p. The Too Loud also brought up a great point about the diopters. That's those like little spinny dials on the top. And if you have a like reasonably mild like a visual impairment, then you can spin those dials and you can bring the image into focus. And that might be useful for someone who, let's say, you know, you're going to bed and you want to take your contacts out, but then you can still wear those glasses and you can, you know, enjoy them. You don't need prescription inserts. most of all these other glasses, you will have to like buy a lens insert, which means you either buy it online or you use the insert that comes in a box, and then you go to an optometrist, and then they like, you know, make a special one that you like clip in there or whatever, right? I do think there's a good point what you said about like the fitment in terms of like the size. Did you feel like a big difference, Clef, in terms of like comfort? What did you experience?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say a big difference. Did I feel one? Yes. Not so much with the tightness of the glasses, more so with the fact that the Luma Pro, unlike the Pro XR, they do not have the ability to like notch up and down to change the angle of the glasses.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a
So
big point too.
that's an improvement on the Luma Pros that the Pro XR didn't have. However, and I'm gonna be honest, your thoughts were valuable because if it was just me, I would put the Pro XR in S. However, with everything that you've shared, it kind of reminded me of a couple of things where the Luma line improved. So I would slot it in A tier because the reality is, if you can still get them, especially at the price that you can find them now, this may be controversial. There are a lot of things that the Pro XR does better than the Luma line. For example, the electrochromic dimming is far better in the Pro XR. It covers the entire lens, whereas on the Luma and the Xreal, you kind of lose the bottom and sides of them. I find that the build quality is drastically better also. The audio is, well, I'd say not substantial enough to say that it's like drastically better, but it felt a little bit better to me. The diopters have a wider range as well than the Luma Pro. So ultimately, I think the Pro XR, if you can get your hands on them, still hold up extremely well. Dare I say they'll even have benefits over the active line right now, or at least some of the models. Not to say they don't have benefits of their own, but you know, it's a good product.
I like those points that you made. Yeah. I think one also worth mentioning that I had forgotten. I had forgotten, but you had jogged my memory for, and that is that if you buy the Pro, if you buy or you have a pair of Pro XR with you, there are other accessories like the Viture Pro mobile dock, the Viture Pro neckband. Like they're still they still work. Like it's essentially backwards compatible. So you could potentially like, you know, down the line, and Viture generally does this. Like I'm not going to make any promises because I don't work for them, but like generally speaking, there's a good chance that whatever their next lineup is, it'll still work with like that accessory that you have. So if you buy this and then you end up buying a Pro mobile dock because you have a Nintendo Switch or something like that, down the line, there's a good chance that like, you know, you could get the Viture Beast 2 or something like that, and it'll still work with the Pro mobile dock. So I mean, generally speaking, they've been pretty good with that, and you can use you know, the software like the you can also use the Spacewalker software too with the Pro XR. So yeah, you made some great points. I agree. I think it should stay there, at least for me.
I'm comfortable with A tier.
Yeah. All right, let's move over. Moving on that, I think it's worth, if we're talking about that same generation, I think it's worth talking about the Xreal 2 Airs. And these are very similar. To be fair, these are very, very similar in the context that, well, these ones have a different color frame. So I suppose if you like a different color frame, this works for that. It's also similar in the context where it doesn't have any of that pinning features. It doesn't have those any like special capabilities. The software side, Xreal generally doesn't have a whole lot of software when you're talking about like desktop software. So if you're a person that wants to do productivity work, like you know, you're gonna have to look for like third-party software usually. But what am I missing here?
Okay, so this I know is going to be, for those who tried XR, so divisive topic. I would slap them A tier because overall their package is very compelling, much like the Viture Pro XR. I would favor the Pro XR over them for one major reason. Even though software is a super stupid valid one, software is so much better, especially at that time on Viture side of things. But the big thing for me is I love the magnetic connector. I just love it that you have on the Viture. And I know a lot of people don't. They feel like, yes, hair might get caught in there. But dude, the ability to just like connect and disconnect. And also the main thing is it takes away the weight from the back of the glasses, pulling the glasses up because of the weight of the cord. So I always preferred the magnetic connector if I had the choice. For that reason, the Pro XR has the magnetic connector, whereas I'm pretty sure the Xreal Air 2 has the Type-C connector.
It does. Yes, it does. Yeah.
So for that reason, I would favor, but I think it's a pair of glasses that once again still holds up fairly well. I would just favor the Pro XR over them.
Fair. For me personally, the Air 2's build quality is definitely worse than the Viture Pros, because the way that it's designed, it's actually a split design. It's the exact same design as the Xreal Air 1s, and you can look onto Reddit. They were known for like this, like splitting, like part of the plastic would split like down the like the leg of the temples. So this was a known problem. As far as I know, Xreal addressed the problem. It's just like, it's just a hassle to deal with, is realistically just the issue. Now, if you do have that Xreal Beam like accessory, that add-on, it works very well with the Xreal Beam. So you can get like the pinning and stuff like that, and it works well with that. You can also record like 3D spatial video, and you can load it up on your like Apple Vision Pro if you have that or whatever. So that works actually pretty well. And the Xreal Beam Pro has come down in price significantly too since it first came out. So for me, I would say it would be like, yeah, behind the Pro, maybe somewhere like top of B or something like that.
To be honest, I would have put them B. You know why I put them A? Because unlike Viture Pro XRs, you can readily go and buy them. That's the one benefit. Like, it's available right now on the website.
True.
But yeah, I don't know. What about you, Tula? You're muted.
No, I know. I mean, I'm comfortable wherever you guys put them. I'm gonna share a little bit of bias here. I'm not a big Xreal fan. It's not the product, it's the company. I don't like how they treat people. So
if Xreal's watching this, we don't know this guy. This is the first time we've ever been.
No, I feel you. I get it. I speak for myself here. I do. I speak for myself here. Yeah. But I don't like how they treat content creators. I don't like how they treat people in general. I think they're ahead of themselves, and it just makes the product less captivating for me.
I get it. I agree. I think they treat Canada like sheesh. So
shish kebabs. Getting skewered. No, okay.
And like I said, I'm not taking away from their product. Like, I think they make exceptional products. They make really awesome products. It's yeah. I'll leave it there. I won't go any deeper.
I double down on that. Like, I will be fair. That's why, like, I'm not bashing the Air 2. Like, I'm gonna be fair on their products, but yeah, if we're talking about the company, that'd be a different tier.
Let's keep this line. Let's keep this line though with I guess that generation of glasses, because it's a fair point that was brought up, and we should be talking about the optics and things like that, and the comparisons. As far as I understand, these are using the exact same optics. They're using the same Sony micro OLEDs between them. They both use the birdbath optics. It isn't until we get later, until like the the current flagship of XR glasses that use a different kind of optics, it's a different kind of lens type basically. Okay, so let's go on and move over to the Rokid Max 2. So
real quick, before we touch on the Rokid, I just want to say, because I meant to say it before, but I'm happy Clef brought up the magnetic connector, because that was something that I felt like the Beast lacked, and I really liked that feature. So yeah.
For what it's worth, if you like the magnetic connector, it can be purchased. It's not the same. I understand. Like if you buy the Pro neckband, I know some people are like thinking, oh, well, doesn't the Pro neckband use like a proprietary magnetic connector? It does, which is why, in order to be compatible with like, the new lineup, which doesn't, the Beast, then they've added the connector, the magnetic connector that you get. They don't say it's a bonus. They just like include it. I mean, if you
no PAMs here.
If you know about the bonus PAMs or bonus keyboards, and if you don't, you got to watch the other Speedcast episodes, right? Okay, so welcome back, Jedi.
I apologize, man. My internet just cut out. Right, I'm panicking, trying to reset the router, and it came back up.
It's okay. We know you accidentally closed the tab. It's okay.
Yeah,
I blame.
All right,
I don't touch the tabs anymore. When was the last time I cut myself out?
I mean,
Okay.
we won't
All right.
name them, but we know who your ISP is, so it's all good, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Spectrum, bro. It's Spectrum. Homie.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what it is? He probably didn't close the tab, but he probably alt F4'd with his forehead. Just
Yeah. Hey, what's this shiny button on my computer? Okay. So, all right. So I don't know how much of you caught, but what do you think? Do you know much about the Xreal Air 2 or the Viture Pro XR? Matt?
No, just kind of what I watched, like from you guys' videos and the content. Which was the ones that was it the Viture Pro XRs that Clef took into the bathroom with him
Yes.
in his video?
oh god! Of course, that's what you remember.
Those the ones that Clef got butt ass naked with in the tub. Then those are S tier for me, all day.
Nice.
Oh my god!
No, I only know what you guys have taught me about them. I mean, they seem pretty cool and stuff, and I know Too Loud really liked them. Those are the ones you had, right? Too Loud? You really liked them?
Yeah, I thought you picked some up. Not that long ago. Honestly, I thought you had picked some up secondhand or something
didn't
not
you?
that long
I
ago.
thought you got it from the RH Marketplace.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I ended up. Oh no.
Ended up canceling.
I asked for my money back because he.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's talk about the Rokid Max 2. These glasses I've actually not had hands on myself with. My understanding though is besides the very sporty look that I know some people like and don't like about them, they are very similar. Once again, they use the same Sony micro OLEDs. They have the myopia adjustment, the diopters, or so again for the prescription lens inserts. You may not have to use them if you have eyesight that falls in within that range. So, Clef, I believe you did a review on this, though, right?
Yep, I did.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the Rokid?
I'm gonna slot them in C.
Okay.
Man, if ever Rokid sees this, I'm sorry. Like they're super awesome to work with. They're a great company. The problem, it's a product that has enough features to hold up. The reason why I put it in C is there's realistically no reasons to get them over their competitors. But it's not like it's a bad product. It's not like it's a product that has no value. It's just it's a product you only get, in my opinion. Again, Rokid, if you see this, I'm sorry. This is a product that only makes sense if you're really after their little handheld thing and it comes as a bundle with the glasses. That's the only time that I would say go with them. And if you have them, you're going to be happy. Like they have, the 120 hertz, they have the diopter in there. I even think they have the electrochromic dimming. If I remember, I'm pretty sure at least these one come with a cover. So, like it's not a bad product in no way. It's just, there's better. There's more reasons to get the other one. So only really get them if you want the bundle. And so, yeah, I think C tier is fair because beyond that, I wouldn't recommend getting those alone.
I think that's a good I think that's a good point to make. Just for a point of reference for people, I believe you can buy these glasses standalone too around the $200 price range as well.
If you
just
that changes
just the
things.
glasses to be clear though, just the glasses. Now if you buy and just to be clear, we're talking about the Rokid. We're talking about the Rokid Max 2. They have a couple of them, like the Rokid. I think it's the Rokid Air and then the Rokid Max. They look very similar. So if you are going to buy these, make sure you pay attention like clearly to what they're marked as, because they may not, have all the features and stuff that Clef was talking about. Now, the puck thing that Clef was talking about, that's part of their, I believe it's called the AR Joy 2. It comes with it's like the Rokid Station 2. Basically, it has their own proprietary operating system, and it lets you like pull up multiple windows and do that kind of fancy stuff. It only works with the Rokid glasses, to be clear, so don't try to buy that pocket thing by itself and then use it with other glasses. That's not going to work from my understanding. So that combo can be had for around like $450 or $500 or something like that. So in the context of looking at it in comparison to the other glasses that are on this list, like we were talking so far from most of the last generation glasses, they don't have the fancy function where you can lock it up in space. You press a button and it just locks in space. You need some other kind of device in order to do that, or some other software to do that. And that's no different with the Rokid Max 2. Okay.
So let's talk about the price though, right? Let's talk.
Yep.
So at $200, Are we considering this budget XR or just affordable? You know what I mean? Like, what's the competition look like at that price point for a consumer who's new, right? Because a consumer who's new is probably not going to go and get whatever the most expensive ones are. Maybe,
Mhm.
maybe some people would, but you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, when you consider the price and the value, are they still a C?
Well, yeah, that's a great point to bring up, Matt. I would say, okay, I have to stand corrected. It looks like the Rokid. See, this is my problem. So the Rokid Max, the ones that I was saying, not to be confused with these ones are. If you look at Amazon pricing right now, it's kind of all
Mhm.
over the place. Like Rokid Max 2, the ones that we're talking about right now, are like $400, and I think at $400 they're not worth it. Um,
Right.
now with that puck thing, you can buy them for 450. That makes a lot more sense, right? So like
Mhm.
Clef was saying, if you buy them as a bundle and you're going to be happy with that. But know that like that's what you're buying into. And as far as I know, Rokid is stepping more into like the smart glasses space. Like they're doing more of that stuff, more of the route of it's a different kind of display. It's outside of the scope of this video, but basically not what they're doing right now. And they did have another model that was like this, but it never released as far as I know.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
yeah, if you want like an all-in-one, I guess you would say like media consumption device like that's in your hand, that's not a phone, and that is definitely not an Ioneo Pocket Air Mini, you know, and you connect it to your glasses, this could do it for 450, I suppose. Yeah, maybe if you look on eBay or something, it might be less than that. It's not terrible.
Hmm.
Yeah, but as a standalone, I don't know. Yeah, that price is a little iffy. Yeah. So for me personally, yeah, I'm gonna keep them. I'm gonna keep them here at C, just because I'd be more concerned about the longevity. Like if they're stepping away from this space,
Oh,
like what?
software support and
Yeah, like software
firmware.
support,
It makes
warranties,
sense.
like if it goes bad, like are you gonna even be able to get a replacement, or are they gonna just be like, no, here's $100 gift card to our store? Oh, sorry, I thought we were talking about Ioneo. I mean, same deal, right?
Mhm.
Super quick, Mojal asked a valid question. So I just want to let the people who are watching us, first of all, thank you all for being here and consider joining the Discord if you want to take that conversation a little further. Mojal will address these by the end after we're done with the tier list, but that's a very valid question and we'll make sure to tune in. And I typed it in our chat so that we have it as reference for later.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we're gonna leave this here unless Too Loud Jedi, you feel particularly strongly about moving this to a different spot.
No, I do not. I do not. I think
Oh,
that I will gauge
Yeah.
where the other ones in that same price point.
Okay.
Maybe look
Okay.
evaluate it afterwards.
Fair. Okay, so let's look at these are okay. So I mean, these are kind of a meme, but for the price point that they can be had, and because of their unique styling, I think it is worth mentioning these ones here. So these are the Legion. These are the Legion glasses Gen 2. Um, Asus has also made a pair that use basically the same type of optics. They're called the Air Vision M1, but they're not on this list simply because if you try to buy them, they're like $400 or more by themselves.
and they don't
Uh,
even have 120 hertz.
and don't That's a great point. Yes. Yes, fantastic, Clef. Just as a point of reference, and we'll do a roundup summary afterwards, but all these glasses up here, they also support 120 hertz, if not out of the box through some kind of software update. To be fair, like the older gens, like these ones here, they probably get toastier when you enable the 120 hertz, but like they can do it, is the point. But yeah, that's a great point, Clef. Thank you. So these Legion glasses, I know Alex was calling these fake aviators, right? Fake
Yep.
aviators.
Yep.
But I mean, I don't know. I've not used them hands on, but they look different. I mean, if you're going for that look and the price point, I don't know, maybe. What do you guys think?
I would put them C. Not that they're bad. Again, they hold up fairly well with competitors and especially with their updated pricing. But realistically speaking, versus companies that specialize in those, the only way that I would recommend them is exactly for what you mentioned, styling. And if styling is the thing that you have over the other products when talking about XR glasses, I think that says a lot.
Mhm.
Like I get it that some people will be concerned about styling when wearing those, but I think the tech is more important with that category of products. For that reason, again, looking at what we have on the list, I think the S and A and B tiers belong to products that are better tuned.
Yeah, great point. And just because I think someone is probably going to ask, or they're wondering, so these don't have the dimming, but they do have a magnetic shade cover, as far as I know. So it like it magnetizes over it, which is actually kind of cool. Like, because the other ones don't use anything like that, which is kind of a shame that like it's not really supported more than that. But yeah, Too Loud Jedi, you guys have thoughts about this? You think the style gets it an S tier?
S tier.
S for
S tier
style?
all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, as for style, you know, you want to get your Top Gun on, you know, like you put these bad boys on. No, all jokes aside, I'm I'm fine with C tier. The 60 hertz really hurts it. Style, even with how cool the style looks, like the 60 hertz really hurts it a lot in comparison to what else is out there. Especially when you say, like,
these are
go
the
ahead.
Gen 2.
Yeah, the Gen 2 have 120 hertz. We were talking about the Asus AirVision M1 before. These
Oh,
Lenovo
sorry.
glasses
Okay, I
have
caught the
120.
tail end of that.
No, it's
Oh, okay. Well, at that cost, then I would still say C tier. But no, they're cool. They're all right. I think that it's cool to see like Lenovo and Asus dipping their toe in the water to see what's up. But I think that the feature set that others are offering and maybe some other stuff coming up here in the lineup that is also a little bit more cost conscious have a little bit more to offer. So.
okay. Fair. All right. Let's see. Moving down the line here, we got. I guess what we're gonna do here is the. These are the Rayneo Air 3S. Okay, so these are technically the last gen of the Rayneo Air lineup. I'm gonna go back
with emotions right now, GG.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Clef on this one because I mean I think he already knows what I'm thinking.
They're so, man, it's gonna be such a stupid reason. I would put them A tier, and the only reason why I don't put them S tier is that there is a successor to that product that is ever so slightly better that you can basically get for like a stone throw distance and pricing. Rayneo are so aggressive, and while no, they're not the glasses that will make you do anything, they are the perfect point of entry for anyone who wants to experience XR glasses. And you know, there are a lot of companies right now that are making that so that was the super quick, that was the issue with Rayneo, was if you need glasses you need to buy an insert, and it used to be like 100 plus for the inserts, but I have this company VR Rock that I looked into, and they have inserts for like 40-50 bucks. And so, because it's so cheap, you can address the biggest issue that you would have with grabbing a Rayneo pair. And these things, just to show you guys what it looks like, is just a little insert that you put over your glasses, and that fixes the main issue. So if you have that as a solution, something like that, if you have that as a solution, you can just insert that in your glasses, and it'll fix the issue. Yeah, easily A tier, because you can remedy for change the biggest thing, but they shine on so many different aspects. That's the Viture Pros. They have beautiful, crisp, very vibrant visuals, great audio. So they shine on what you'll get as a very immediate experience, even if they don't have all the features that some of those products have. So it's not like you're compromising on visuals and audio, which is phenomenal at the price point that they hit. So
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Clef. I mean, these would easily be S tier if not for the fact that there is a newer version, and I agree with that. I mean, just as a point of reference, while you were talking, I went and looked this up. Like, you can't actually buy the Rayneo Air 3S Pros now new from Amazon or from their own website, I believe. But if you look on eBay, there's a ton of these, and you can buy them for like, they'll say like new in box or new other or whatever, and they're like 150, 160. 170. I mean, so for me, like, I would actually, I mean, I would personally put them here above the Xreal Air 2, and like these kind of go back and forth because these have, you know, the Viture Pros have a couple more features, but just like Clef said, I mean, the picture in these is beautiful. The field of view between these two is very comparable, but like out of the box, you don't have to do any kind of adjustment or anything like that. It's got the temple adjustment. Yeah, and you just put it on like it's a beautiful, bright, vibrant picture.
And something that you just said. So Rayneo have their own panels, and they achieve higher brightness than everybody. And maybe we wouldn't all agree on that, but I would argue that they have better visibility on the edges, because a lot of XR glasses you get a little bit of fuzzy on the edges. I find that Rayneo, whatever they do with their optics and panel, they just achieve a slightly more crisp image at, you know, the entirety of what you see in your glasses. But there's more to that, especially when software is involved. You know, anyways,
yeah,
we'll get back to that.
No, you're right about that, Clef, and I agree with you. And you brought up a good point that I had forgotten as well, which is that with these, the Rayneos, the only downside in terms of the image for me personally is that they have birdbath optics, and boy, these have reflections for days. If you're outside and you're not wearing you know, like the lens cover or whatever, boy, like you're gonna see whatever shirt you're wearing like throughout the whole thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, the panel is so bright that you're still going to see the panel, but you're also going to see whatever you're wearing too reflected back into your eyes, you know. But fun fact, if you do have a pair of these out there, you can load up Viture Spacewalker software on your phone, and that side mode that Too Loud was talking about earlier in this video, where you can like make the like a picture-in-picture thing, it actually works with you know, these two. So you get some added functionality from Viture software, even though Rokid didn't give it to you, or I mean, even though Rayneo didn't think to give it to you in their software, which is kind of funny. What Jedi, Too Loud, what do you guys think of what we said, especially in the context of the next one that we're going to talk about after?
So my first entry into XR was with Rayneo, and I was just blown away by what you get, the value and the experience. Just completely blown away by it. So, and I think the next one that you're going to talk about is what my first experience was. So, I mean, I'm going to take you guys' word on it because I want to speak so highly about the other ones, and I can't imagine that they're not, you know, and with this kind of stuff, I'm looking at the price to performance, so to speak, you know, the user experience for the performance, and at the price point, you're saying $150 on eBay. Why wouldn't you? Right? If you're thinking about it, compared to like these Legion glasses that are still like $200. Yeah, I would definitely go yeah. So I don't have any gripes with that at all.
Okay. Too Loud?
No, I'm good with it. I'm good with exactly what you guys said. I think they do belong a little bit behind the Viture just because of the electrochromatic dimming and you know, the software stuff that you get with Viture. But other than that, I think they're great. I said you were teasing us by putting these first because, you know, I think everybody has something to say about the next ones. So
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's a good placement.
Okay, thank you.
Super quick, if I may add, Rayneo, if you want to like even shave off a couple more dollars, they are available on AliExpress, and especially if you find like coupons and stuff like that, you can get them for even cheaper sometimes. So something to keep in mind also.
Yeah. That's a great point. And I was just gonna say, I don't know, Clef, you tell me if you agree with this. I feel like if we're gonna say that the next one is a Legion Go S where they improved on things slightly, like this is actually, no, that's not fair because I know you don't like the Go that much. Maybe it's like an Ally X and an Ally. Maybe that's what it is, because we're gonna talk about the Rayneo Air 4 Pro.
Fair.
No. Yeah. You agree with that analogy?
100%.
S tier.
Ally X and Ally?
S tier,
Ally X
dude.
and Ally? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
S tier.
S tier.
S tier.
Okay. Everybody says this is S tier.
S tier.
Yeah. Okay. So tell the audience why.
Well, okay. There's gonna be a
Budget
little
king,
asterisk.
bro.
Yeah, I actually take it. Start this one if you want to. Love.
Okay. It's the budget king. Like, period. It's literally, you want entry into XR, like this is it. You get great audio with Bang and Olufsen. You get crisp viewing. Like Clef said, you can get viewing all the way to the edges. They come with a lens cover So you get that right out of the box. I also like that they include the prescription insert that you could just take over to the your doctors and get them filled. I think that they're really phenomenal. I think that they're extremely enjoyable product. I will say that the audio is really, really crisp, and I enjoy. They also have HDR, dude, which is like, man, just that another level of good viewing,
Oh
you
my
know. So
What's
I
so funny?
think,
Why you guys
yeah,
laugh?
there we go.
That's pretty dope.
I think that's actually perfect right there, dude. I think that they would have been S plus plus if they would have sent me the Batman ones, but I'm still good. I'm still good at these. Like I don't know. Honestly, I think Budget King like fits these perfectly.
Um,
You know.
so I'm gonna add to that because there is an asterisk that needs to be there. And you know, we put it in a different tier, assuming that everyone will agree, and I would definitely slot it in S tier for all of the reasons that Too Loud mentioned. However, if you have the Air 3S Pro, like, don't even feel the slightest amount of FOMO. And that I might be on my own on this opinion, but the Bang & Olufsen, it's a feature that you activate on the glasses. And when you activate it, basically, rather than using their own in-house tweaking, it's Bang & Olufsen tweaking. And I would argue that Rayneo did a better job with their audio than Bang & Olufsen, in my personal opinion. Then the HDR that the Air 4S has that the Air 3S Pro don't have is because the Air 3S, you have like something that is basically HDR without calling it HDR, but it's algorithm assisted that gives you a same like range as with HDR, whereas on Air 4S Pro you have proper HDR support. So there are many areas where I find their algorithmic solution does a better job. I'm gonna be honest. And the thing is, with their algorithm, you retain all the features, 120 hertz. I need to make my review on these glasses. I haven't yet. But on the proper HDR, you don't. So there's a lot of benefits that you're still having from the 3S Pro. And the funny thing is, as much as you have more on the Air 4 Pro, I would argue that the Air 3S has the better things still there. So, you know, considering right now when I look, I see like the Air 3S Pro at 279 and the Air 4 Pro at 299. There's realistically no reason why you'd want to, you know, go for the Air 3S Pro. You might as well just go for Air 4 Pro and get that little extra that you have for that $20. Absolutely worth it. And the big benefit that the Air 4 Pro has over the Air 3S Pro is that you do get a cover with them. You didn't, and that was my biggest complaint with the Air 3S Pros and everything before it, because you don't have electro dimming, and so they come with a sticker. I used to say my reviews don't remove the sticker because otherwise you're not going to be able to block light. So by having the cover, you completely fix that issue. And no, it doesn't lower FOV, Mojo. So yeah, S rank for me.
Yep. You guys, yeah, I think you guys have covered everything here. That's a great point about comparing it and jumping from the Air 3S. I mean, it's an upgrade, but it's like so slight that, yeah, it's not even like, you know, not even worth it. I mean, I was saying, you know, the comparison, if you're from the handheld space, which I assume many of you are out there, and if you're not, I mean, you know, hop onto Discord and chat with all of us and tell us what it is that you're interested in. I was saying Ally and Ally X, but maybe that's not even a fair comparison because the Ally X actually made a lot more improvements than I feel like you know, the Air 4 Pro have, especially when we're talking about the price comparison between them. That said, I will add the thing that Clef was talking about with the covers. If you have the Air 3S Pros, you can buy those covers separately. So like, don't think, oh well, you know, because I need this plastic cover, like, you know, like that's not it, you know. But also for anyone out there who, and I know Alex was kind of already saying this, but for anyone out there who looks at these things and says like, oh, why am I going to pay for an accessory that costs more than my handheld? Well, first, Steam Deck is $950 in case you missed it. But none of these things, or I mean, like all of these things will work with any handheld that has display port alt mode out. And if you have like even a retro handheld that has HDMI out, you can, you know, get an adapter and that adapter should work for it. Right. So it's not like I know it's kind of a meme to have an accessory that costs 2 or 3 times more than the handheld itself. I get that, but the point is and I think Matt, you were telling me this, like you were going through like all your handhelds and like figuring out, oh, which ones are compatible and not. Like for me, this is the difference, right? Like once you've had this experience, and if you can come in at a budget price point, like this is the way to experience the Air 3S Pros, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So we so what he's talking about is when we were playing, we did this with the Rayneos and the other ones that we'll talk about eventually. But the Rayneo 4s, the Air 4 Pros, were my first experience with XR, and it was amazing. And I got into it, and I didn't realize how much other stuff I would do besides just playing video games. But one of the things that we did, my son and I, he got fascinated by them too, and we sat there for 2 hours and went through every single handheld I have to see which ones
Geez,
work.
how many handhelds do you have?
10. So we sat there
2
and
hours?
yeah, man, we were very thorough. But yeah, and it was just a blast to just kind of see what worked and what didn't work, and yeah, no, I think they're for me, but just my brand new user getting to it, I think they're S tier because it was a stellar experience to walk in the door. Yeah.
What about your productivity? Like, because I know that was something big for you when you first got to try them, Matt.
Yeah, no, huge, and that's a great point. I mean, I use them more for. I still use them all the time. I still use them for productivity all the time because there's something. I'm part of my job. I work off of a laptop all the time. I have an office, but I'm everywhere. I'm all over the place, and so staring at a 200-inch screen as opposed to a 15-inch laptop screen is amazing, hugely amazing. And the Bang Olufsen audio, they come with these little pipes or something that you kind of attach, and it kind of reverbs the audio better into your. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome.
I don't have those.
Yours
Yeah,
didn't come
those-
with that?
Mine didn't come with them either. Matt's
Oh,
the
mine
second
did.
person who's told me that his came with them, and
Yeah,
mine
it's in a
didn't come
box,
with them.
bro. A little box of little rubber tubes. They
I'm
don't
gonna
look
have
like
to
anything.
scour my box again.
No,
Actually, I'm gonna do it
we
while we
may
talk
have
here.
gotten the review samples that we got may
Yes.
not have had that, so
Yeah.
so that may have been what it was. Yeah.
Mm.
So for those who are wondering, these are like these sound tube things. They're these little things that clip onto the ends of the glasses, and basically what it'll do is it'll redirect the sound like closer to your ear, right? So your ear holes can enjoy the sound better.
Oh, actually, I'm glad I opened my box. So if these guys are saying that the covers from the 4S will fit the 3S, if you have a 3D printer, dude, you could print a cover. So, and that's like a couple cents, you know?
Yep.
All right, so let's move on over. We're still, all of these, with the exception of the Goovis, are using birdbath optics. With the exception of the Rayneos, as we mentioned, they all use the Sony Micro OLEDs. So now let's do the Viture Luma Ultras as a kind of brief introduction to people. I put it right next to the Viture Luma Pros here because it's part of the same Luma lineup. And actually, they're so similar. Like they have basically the same panel, basically the same features. They don't have the pinning ability. They have the diopters. They do have very nice image quality inside of them, but they're expensive because of the additional 2 front-facing cameras. You can sort of see it in this here. That enables like special features on the software side. Not to be clear, not on the glasses themselves, on the software side, which is more for like developers and stuff like that. It comes at a very costly price of $600. So as of now, of all of these ones that we've looked at here, it's basically the most expensive. It's the most expensive XR glasses that we've looked at here. So for me personally, like while the image is beautiful, like it has to be like bottom of B or like top of C for me. It's just too expensive for what it is.
So I'm right here with you, and I was thinking about this. I was gonna put them C tier just exactly for the reasons you explained, because realistically, I know that sometimes companies, like I find it's not often that you find companies say this is not for consumers, this is an enterprise edition. But I think as consumers, we have this habit of thinking it's more, it's better.
Yeah.
In this instance, truly it is not. It is realistically for consumers, there's the same product for 99% of it, I would not recommend getting these except if you are an enterprise or you are a developer, a coder. And at the same time, I feel like after thinking about this, I don't want to penalize a company, especially when they do specify that this is for enterprise. So I'll leave it be. But if you are watching this, whether it is in VOD or live right now, don't buy this for yourself. If you don't fall in those categories, buy the Luma Pro and you'll have just about as good as an experience.
Yeah, I would agree. And it says on their website, I know it, like, a lot of people don't read the descriptions, but it does say in there that it's for power users and industry professionals. Like, I would focus on that part, industry professionals, right? Like Clef said about like enterprise use, So if you're not planning to do any kind of development type of stuff, yeah, you'll be fine with the Luma Pros or, the other glasses that we're going to talk about. Yeah. Too Loud and Jedi, I know you guys haven't had hands on with these, but you have any questions that maybe we could fill in for the audience, or something that you want to know that might change the
I guess what I'll ask, I mean, I trust you guys' opinion, so but what I will ask is, like, what sets them apart to be for enterprise in comparison to just consumer level?
Oh, it's the two front-facing cameras.
Yep.
Primarily.
And what does that do for you?
So you can enable something called 6DoF, or 6 degrees of freedom, which basically means, so when we talk about 3DoF or the pinning or the anchoring, basically what that means, if you're moving your head like this, it's gonna, like, say that I have the picture in here and I lock it in front of me like this, I move my head, it stays there, right? But as I walk forward and backwards, it moves with me. Whereas with 6 degrees of freedom, imagine if you've used a Quest 3 before and you lock that, picture or video or whatever in that space and you move forward, it's like it's physically there, so you move forward and it gets bigger as you move
that's
forward.
Pretty cool.
Right? So like that's what it can do. But and I mean, you could like move behind it and stuff as well, but again, it's software locked, as in like you need to do it with the Pro neckband, or you have to do it with their Spacewalker app, like that type of stuff.
Okay.
Realistically, it's as if Viture said, we'll put just about everything we can on these glasses, but we're not going to focus on making software. We'll just give you the SDK to do what you want to do with them. That's basically what they did. And to the point that Gigi said, you have the two cameras, you have a microphone in there as well. So you have more things on the devices themselves. But realistically speaking, that does not translate in the consumer experience when using the glasses. It is something you're going to have to build. So that's why, it's not for consumers.
Yeah, and like I was mentioning the Pro neckband, which is obviously the Viture accessory, and you can do like hand tracking with that. Now, to be clear, you can do hand tracking with the other Viture glasses as well, because the Pro neckband has a camera on it. But with these two front-facing cameras, like, it has more information, it has more telemetry, so the hand tracking is better. But like Clef said, like, it's not really for consumers. Like, I think for most of our audience, for example, who wants to plug it into their handheld, like, they have no use for that. Like, it's not going to serve any purpose for them. Okay, so let's move on over to let's see here, the Xreal glasses here. So this one here is actually the Xreal One Pro. We can lump this in. Yeah, actually, no, we're not going to lump this in. This is the Xreal One Pro. So this, up until maybe about a month ago, was technically their flagship. This is their current generation of XR glasses. This is the first one on our list here that doesn't use birdbath optics. It uses Prism optics, which is basically like a flattened. It's not a pancake lens, but it's like a flattened type of lens, and it is shaped kind of like a rectangle, sort of. And these glasses here, they have all the features of basically like these other Xreal glasses, right? Like, they can do the dimming, and they can also be compatible with the they can be compatible with the Beam Pro. That's that accessory. It's basically a phone that's not a phone. It's an Android device. And on top of that, it has that pinning that we just talked about. So it can lock an image right in front of you. You can like move your head and stuff like that. It will stay there. And this is on the glasses, meaning that if you plug it into your Ally, you plug it into your Legion Go, you plug it into, wait, does the PAM have video out?
I don't think so.
Okay, so not your PAM. Sorry, Zach, not your PAM, but you can plug it into. You could actually plug it into like an RP5. You could plug it into an RP6. You can even plug it into an Iron Thor, and you will get that video, and it'll show up in front of you. You can lock it with a button press, and it'll stay there. There is also another little special feature of this thing, I guess, which is like $100 add-on. You add a little camera to the middle of it. And then what happens with the camera? What happens is the little camera enables that thing that I was talking about with the Luma Ultras. So this tiny little thing here, what it does is it lets you lock it completely in space. You can walk behind it and things like that. You can actually take short videos, a minute-long video, and you can take photos with it as well. The only catch with that is like it doesn't like easily translate to your phone or your desktop. You have to like enter export mode, and then you have to like access it that way. But like it's a cool little thing to have if you. I know, Alex, you have the Meta Ray-Ban glasses, right? So it's basically like adding that feature to it for like $100. Not exactly the same, but kind of like that. So
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's nice to have in that context. These are 1080p panels, so they are lower resolution than the new Viture glasses. For the record, so for me, I like these a lot. I actually would put them like top of A, except you know what? Actually, I'm gonna put them somewhere in the middle of A because these are pricey. They're like $600 when they're on sale, and when they're not on sale, they're $650. So they're the most expensive outside of the Luma Ultras we were just talking about. So they're feature packed, but they're expensive, right? So what do you guys think based on like what I've shared, or what you might know about the glasses?
I would also put them A tier. Actually, we're agreeing a lot on this episode. Exactly where you put them, that's also why
that's not normal, dude.
Right? I could have seen an argument to make them like top of B tier, but I think A tier. See, the problem is we're kind of seeing the same thing with these as we have with, Rayneo and Viture, where. But the thing here is, I think they sort of cannibalized the One Pro with one of their more recent releases, especially because of how much better the value is on one of their more recent releases that we're going to talk about. But the truth of the matter is, this is still one of the peak option in XR glasses right now, and for valid reasons. It's a good product overall. So I think A tier is fair. It's just it is costly. You are paying a pretty dollar, and there's at the very least one pair in that list that I would absolutely recommend over these, for most reasons. There's one benefit that this one holds. So yeah, I think A tier is fair. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
it has a lot of interesting things, and their chip, their self designed and produced chip X1, is really the unsung hero of this product.
You're absolutely right, and we're gonna talk about that a bit more afterwards. I guess for Too Loud and Jedi, this would be directly comparable to the Beast, but this came out before the Beast. It has a lower resolution than the current Beast, right? But it has those other features like I mentioned. It has the Xreal Eye, which you can add on as an attachment. There's actually, Clef just reminded me, there's one key feature, which I know it's not for everybody, but for me, it has a really great. It's amazing for entertainment, and that is what they call Real 3D, and that is that it can take any 2D or any flat video, and I don't mean like a 3D video where you bought your 3D Blu-rays. It's not like that. It's anything. So it doesn't have to have been designed for 3D, and you click a button and it will convert it to 3D, like on those glasses, using that X1 chip that Clef was talking about. Now it is capped at 30 FPS. They said that they're working on unlocking 60. I'm a little bit concerned about how much heat that might generate, because the front of it does get the front module does get hot, and that's a common complaint for people that wear these glasses. For me, like it doesn't really touch my brow that much, or my forehead. So if you buy these and you're like, wow, Gigi's such a liar, these things are like burning my face off. I mean, depending on the shape of your face, it might it might melt your face. No, I mean, like, this is a complaint I've heard, and they do get warm, but like for me, I have to like push it up against my forehead. Like I've just been, I've just been blessed with no eyebrows and a decent forehead, I guess. So this is that 3D feature though is so good for me. Like it's hard for me to watch like if I'm watching an anime or I'm watching like K-drama or something. It's hard for me to watch something just flat, as I call it, because I'm just like, this is kind of boring. I want that 3D mode. And that to me is like the killer feature, which originally it wasn't on the Xreal One Pros, but surprisingly, Xreal's ported it to this one. So I guess this is a good time to talk about the Xreal One S, which are very similar to the Xreal One Pros. The primary difference between these is that this has a slightly lower field of view. This one is 52, I believe, and this one is 57. But these ones use birdbath optics. So it's that triangular prism again, and versus that like kind of flattened rectangle. And for me, and it's still Xreal Eye compatible, and it's also still has that 3D mode. And so they're pretty much the same feature set wise, but because of the different kinds of optics, for me actually personally, the Xreal One S have a slightly better image. Like, you do lose that 5 degrees field of view. And we talked about earlier with the Viture Pro that, it's not nothing if you've gone back and forth. But like if you've never used XR glasses at all before and you're willing to pay, let's say the big bucks, these are $450, I believe, right now. Like these are incredible value. So for like me, I'm gonna put these actually S tier. These are really,
well.
really, really good.
S tier for me as well. And I was waiting to say this, but you said it just before, and I agree wholeheartedly. Is we especially in the XR space, like I get it for a lot of different things, especially VR. But when it comes to XR space, you got to think you're not working from an enclosed environment like it is the case with VR. It is always open, open gate, if you will. So the FOV, in my very personal opinion, does not have nearly as big an impact as it does in VR. Now, sure, if you are going back and forth between two pairs of glasses, you will see that difference. But realistically speaking, if you have one pair and this is what you bought and like you're leaning into the tech, the FOV is not going to matter that much. And I would argue that when looking at the Beast, which we'll get into, when looking at the One Pro, because they're pushing like the absolute limit to those optics, you will most likely, because they have the software to do it, find yourself making the screen just a smidge smaller so that it's more clearer. So ultimately, that benefit that you may have, ultimately, you kind of will compromise on it to get a clearer image. So is it truly a benefit? I don't know. But that's the thing. When you look at 1S, when you look at the Luma Pro, the Luma Ultra, they are clearer out of the box because they don't push it to that absolute limit. Dude, the 1S are very, very hard to beat in terms of value, in terms of features. Kudos to Xreal for backporting their features. I feel like they technically and arguably would be able to do the same with R1 240 hertz. I don't think they will, but anyways, that's another discussion, I guess. So yeah, 1S definitely S tier in my opinion.
Yeah. Let me share one more thing about the One Pro and the 1S in difference. This is something that people have complained about before, and it was actually brought to my attention because I didn't personally notice it at first, but then once I did, it was kind of hard for me to unsee. So if you look at this is kind of just a demonstration for people. So this is your traditional birdbath optics. You can see it's got that kind of triangle shape. So what happens is the little micro OLED display is up top here, and then it gets reflected off a mirror, and then it beams into your eyes, right? So if you look through here though, you can see like there's a little bit of, so this is the lens frame, and you're looking through this I guess you would call this prism, right? And then there's the space here. So this is the Xreal One S. And one of the common complaints of the Xreal One Pro though is if you look, the module itself is much smaller. You see that? So the prism itself cuts off right here, and there's this big gap here for where big gap or big space here between the edge of the lens frame and then the prism itself. So actually when you're wearing them, you see like some blurriness on this edge here. You see like this kind of line or this like blurring of it. And like it didn't bother me at first, but when we talk about the R1s, I will show you kind of cleverly that they've sidestepped this issue, and that's probably one of the big reasons why for the Xreal One Pro that it would be like, you know, kind of middle of the pack A for me. Oh, and also the Xreal and the 1S also have 1200p as well, so it's slightly sharper too. Mainly if you're doing like text work, like Matt would do. So yeah, based on what we've said though about what Clef and I have said about those things, too loud. Jedi, what do you guys think about the One Pro, the 1S?
What's the price point on these guys?
So $450 for the 1S and $600 or $650, depending if you get it on sale or not, for the One Pro.
Right. I mean, I think the 1S, the ones you have in S tier, sound pretty dope. But that the other ones, I actually had them slated at the top of B tier because of the price point. Because I feel like when you start getting that high, I mean, for somebody like me, I don't know if if I'm gonna appreciate what you're getting, you know, for the price, so to speak. You know, I think like you guys are super enthusiasts with this, where I'm a novice and I'm just starting to get into it. I'm excited about it, but I don't have enough of a knowledge base to see the value in those higher end ones. Like, you know, I'm blown away by the Rayneos and the other ones that I have that we're going to talk about, you know, and I can see it, but I mean, I'm having a hard time feeling like looking at these guys that they're worth $600. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. How about you, Tulad?
I think, I mean, if they have all the features, well, since they have all the features you guys say, I would say, yeah. I mean, S tier 450 is not bad for them when you stack them up against the competition.
Yeah.
The other thing to mention in that point is basically the primary difference between them, besides the optics themselves, you know, birdbath versus Prism, is that like the One Pros have, you know, additional 5 degrees, but like we said, I mean, we're talking about, you know, $150 plus difference. I was mentioning that Xreal Eye as an accessory. You could buy the Xreal Eye added on to the 1S, save $50 basically, and have more features than the One Pro, right? That's what the tough sell is for the One Pro, you know.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on over to the meat and potatoes, right? Let's do the beast. No, I'm not talking about Win 600. Stop it, guys.
Hey,
what do we think? You guys take it from here. I don't want to be like
I would put the beast. I would put the beast in F tier. And the reason is because no, I'm just kidding. I think the beast are also S tier. I enjoy them a lot. If not A tier, at least A tier. They're I mean, they are a bit up there in price. You know, what are they? $600?
$550.
$550.
Yeah.
Unless you use a discount code.
Okay. Unless you use a discount code, which I'm sure one of these people will be able to provide you. But I think they're S tier, dude. They have like exceptional like viewing. I really love the 1200p. The extra bit of vertical that 1200p gives you, like you don't realize until you try it. Like you think like 1080p and a handheld kind of showcases that, like when you move from a 16:9 handheld to a 16:10 handheld, but it's just that blown up, right? And you really see it in the glasses. Like it gives you so much more view, top and bottom. And I don't want to use 1080p anymore. Like the 1200p is game changing to me. And yeah, they're super vibrant. They look great. They look cool to me. And I like, I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? But I like the way that Viture packages their product. I love the zipper case in comparison to some of the others that have the flap case and stuff like that. Like I like the zipper case. My only gripe with them, and it's a small gripe, and for people who didn't experience it, they'll never notice the difference. And I know you said I could fill that gap, but I wish that they still just used the magnetic connector. But I love pinning. I love pinning the screens, like being able to pin them. I love having that side mode, that side view. Dude, they're phenomenal. I can't like they took everything good about the pros minus the diopters. They took everything else and just amplified it, made it better, gave us more features, and it's an awesome companion. Like I really, really enjoy it. Sometimes, like I'll give an example. Like the other day, so I have my home setup is a stacked monitor orientation, right? And so what I did is I'm wearing them, and I pinned the screen over my secondary top display. So now when I look down, I can still see it automatically undims itself so that I can see my primary screen when I look back down. Like just attention to detail like that and having features like that to me is amazing. Like if I didn't look so dorky doing the podcast in them, I'd probably wear them at every podcast. So
he's trying to make excuses for his Aura farming. Just forgive him, everybody. Forgive him. Anything you want to add to that, Jedi?
Yeah, I agree with Tula. He does look dorky as shit with them on. I agree. Yeah,
thank you, bro. Thank you, bro.
So no, I agree. They're 100% S tier, and there was just this. I was blown away by the experience. These are the other ones that I have, and I was excited to talk about them. All the different things like I had what was really cool is that we have like a swing in the back of our house, and I sat on the swing, and I was playing Borderlands 4, and I had them set to following or smooth following, so that the screen moves with you, right? And I was rocking back and forth and I was playing Border, and I thought I'm gonna get nauseous, and it wasn't. It was actually a really cool experience, and it was just great. It was a great experience. I sat out in the front yard in the yard in beautiful clear skies, and I had the electrochromatic. I think it was on number 9 is whatever the highest setting is, and I played games. I played Ori and the Blind Forest. It was perfect, and then I laid on a trampoline on my back and was able to watch YouTube without any issues. The sun beating down on me. I mean, it was just a really good experience. As a new person to this, I mean, I can't express how great it was. And then for productivity, being able to have the multiple screens up and everything. I mean, just my only thing that I noticed compared to my other experience, which is the Rayneo Air 4s, is that the bridge right there gets a little bit warm. And it's not while you're wearing them. I didn't notice that, but what I noticed is when I'm taking the glasses off after use for a while, because I had them on for a while. I noticed that, but other than that, not while I was wearing them. They're super comfortable. They also include the lenses for the prescription. I think they're awesome. So for me, it is definitely an S tier.
All right, King Clef,
easily S tier. And one thing that hasn't been mentioned, I mean, lots of very valid and great points have been mentioned, but the one thing that I didn't hear is that as much as, because it's easy to compare them to the One Pro, dare I say even in the One S, and that real life 3D that Gigi mentioned is definitely, without a doubt, an advantage that these products have over Viture. But Viture has far better accessory implementations. Thinking about, for example, the Pro Mobile Dock. But the big thing, if you are into using your phone to play games, those telescopic controllers like the S9V that released and the 8BitDo X Viture controller are huge, and these only work with Viture glasses. So you're buying a product that is super well baked in terms of like the components, the software, but you're also buying potentially in an ecosystem that can take you further when you want to like invest a little bit more in your whole XR journey. And I think that is a greater value than we may realize, right? Because when there's going to be that next generation, you may be able to look back to this product and be like, you know what? Let me kill the FOMO and find a way to make these do more for me. And that I think is a big deal. So yeah, definitely S tier, easily S tier.
Yeah.
Can I add something really quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just because Clef made me think of it, right? Like, yeah, the accessories, dude. I don't know how that slipped my mind. I thought about it the whole time we talked about the pros, and I was waiting for the Beast to come up to mention it. And yeah, I mean, phenomenal products, right? Like having the controls is awesome. The neckband, but to me, like that Pro Mobile Dock, Dude, that Pro mobile dock changes so much and gives you so much opportunity. Like, you guys know, Forza 6, the day it came out, I plugged that thing into my desktop and I'm playing Forza 6 at 1200p with a huge display, absolutely gorgeous OLED at 120 hertz, and it looks beautiful. It looks absolutely beautiful. And I'm really saying that because I know there's something else going to come up in the lineup, especially for gaming. And but I want people to know too, the Beast is an option when it comes to that, because you could plug right into it. And the thing that I like about the HD mobile dock or the Pro mobile dock is that you could plug 2 sets of glasses into it, which is that's a game changer. You're on a plane with your spouse or your kid or something, and you guys want to watch something together, right? Man, you're good to go, dude. And it's extra battery, so.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point about bringing up the ecosystem, about the Pro Mobile Dock in particular, which, as far as I know, is still the only device on the market that is compatible with 2 XR glasses, and it doesn't even have to be another Viture XR glasses. So if you do have, you decided to dip your toes with the Rayneo Air 3S or the Air 4 or Air 4 Pros, and then you buy the Viture Pro Mobile Dock, this is going to work with your other XR glasses too. It's not guaranteed, of course, to work forever, but like as of right now, it works for all the XR glasses as far as I know. And yeah, you could play Switch, you could watch, the same content that Alex was talking about together. And that's a big deal because, I mean, for the most part, all of these glasses, including VR headsets, which is, totally different thing, but but how they are the same is that those are generally a solo experience, right? So this is the one way that you can make this a little bit more of a social experience, or at least, include, your partner or kid or your friend or whatever, right? So yeah, that's not nothing for sure. The only thing I'll add to that is, the software experience on Viture is the most robust too in terms of the ecosystem. So with the Beast, you can have multiple windows open if you're using Mac or Windows, and you have that capability. I mentioned earlier the Real 3D, which I really like on the Xreal One lineup of glasses. You can do that on the Beast, but you have to do that through like their software. You can do that with their other you can do that with their other XR glasses, but you have to do that with the software. So the unfortunate part about that is it's limiting in that way because it is also demanding. So like if you are using, a last generation handheld, which is crazy to think about that's last generation given the prices. But if you have like, a Legion Go S and you're trying to watch something in 3D using the Viture immersive 3D software, it's going to be pretty demanding. You know what I mean? So like you're not going to be able to do anything more than like 720p realistically, and that's the kind of challenging part. But we're getting to the tail end of this, so I will just throw this one in here. We'll have our 2 wild cards here, and then we will see if we make any readjustments before we wrap things up. But we shouldn't wrap up the night, because if you are out there, first of all, thank you for joining us. Make sure you check us out on Speedcast, which we will be coming back on Tuesdays, and hop onto Discord to chat with all these fine folks too. So let's talk about the ROG Xreal R1s. These ones are only available in a bundle, and if you have seen all of the news or the buzz or the hate or whatever it is, you can only buy this with the bundle and the dock. That is either an $850 US dock with the glasses and the dock. That's this dock here. It basically works as like a hub. There's 2 HDMI ports and a display port on it, and then you plug in the glasses out the front. I have a video on this. Or you have to wait until that new Xbox Ally X 20th anniversary comes out, and they have one that has the 2 loud styling with the gold on the side. Actually, don't know if that's RGB anymore, because these ones have RGB on the side technically. Yeah. What are our thoughts on this one, gentlemen? Because I know you've all looked very carefully at these.
I do, that's probably the first set so far that I feel I don't have enough. I'm missing data that like first world experience data to have a fully formed opinion. But with what I know, I would put them in A tier. And some of the reasons for that, because from a hardware perspective, from like a technical perspective, it has everything you'd want. Like, this is cutting edge, absolute cutting edge. It has all the support for all the things that we talked about tonight, including the beam eye for extra camera and features when you buy that attachment. It has the 240 hertz, which comes with some caveats, but if the implementation is sound, and this is specifically the part I'd like to test for myself, if the implementation is sound, I can definitely see the value for it. The one reason why I'm not putting it S tier is because, well, one, I don't have the experience of the 240 hertz yet, but two, it is forced with a dock. It is forced with a higher increased price point. So the means to get access to the glasses, because as I understand it, you get those features whether you have the dock or not. The dock is really just to simplify you using like a PS5 and a PC where you can change your inputs, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. It's a cool thing to have. But yeah, right now it's the only way to get access to those glasses. So this is a bit of a caveat. And X20, depending on the price, which I hope I'm right, watch that episode if you don't know what my thoughts are on the X20. I think it's going to be a better way to get them, but I also understand that a lot of people are not excited with the thought of feeling obliged to get that as a bundle. So I understand why that could be frustrating. So that's why I'm putting them A tier.
Fair. Too loud, Jedi?
These are we said, because right now you can only get them from the bundle with the dock, or when they come bundled with the X20, right? Can you buy them individually?
Not right now. You would assume that they would eventually, but who knows when that happens.
And
for the record,
go ahead,
Asus
sir.
officially said that at this point in time, they have no plan of being sold separately, but they might revisit in the future. So we might never
Without
get
dock.
that as a SKU. Yeah, without the dock.
And the dock, with the dock, they're $850 US.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. No. That's just too much, man. For me, that's too much. They're cool as hell. I watched GD play with them. I watched a 40-minute video GD made just unboxing them. And you could see in the reflections, he was grinning from ear to ear.
What do you 40 minutes? I never made a 40-minute video.
Whatever it was.
Okay.
But
I was thinking, like, damn, did I miss that 40-minute video?
No, it was like 22 minutes. It was like 22 minutes, but not for no $850. I can't, man. I just can't bring myself to it at that price point. I don't know. I guess I'm just not enough of an enthusiast to see the value in that. And that's the price of a whole handheld, man. I have to change my name to Too Loud for me to be able to go and buy something like that. I don't think I could do it, man. They look cool, but I don't think I could. They don't look $850 cool to me.
You're saying that because like you could almost buy 8 PAMs? Is that why you're saying that?
Matt would buy 8 PAMs.
No, Matt would probably buy 80 R36s. Is probably what Matt would probably do. Or 36H.
Oh my god! What do you think, Al? Yeah.
I think they're dope, dude. I think I'll know more when the X20 comes out because I don't really give a crap. I'm gonna buy it and whatever. Like, it sucks, but my arm has been twisted here. It's not on my own accord. I'm being forced into buying this, and that's because they know what they did. They made it my favorite colorway, and also too, it's not just that, right? Like, to me, I get it. A lot of people are like, they look at the X20 and like they see these glasses, and if they're not familiar with the glasses, they're like, oh, why potentially $1,800, $2,000 for this bundle? They don't really know what they're getting, especially if they've never tried any of these glasses out, So I understand the frustration with a lot of people. But at the same time, like, if you're somebody that is familiar with the glasses, you enjoy using the glasses, you want to get a set with 240 hertz already. You already like the OLED. Like, for me, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, that's the only way that I would get them. I wouldn't buy them in the setup with the dock. I wouldn't for 850 for them with the dock. I would never own them. Them coming with the X20 is the reason why I will own them. It's because I already enjoy the Xbox Ally. This is my travel handheld. Like, it's amazing. It's such a good handheld. And literally, we were just before the X20 announcement, we were talking about, how good of a product it was, just missing a few features. They gave it every feature it needed. On top of that, now they released it with a set of glasses that match them. They look dope. They have all these. Like I said, I don't care for Xreal as a brand. I do love Asus though. So Xreal got lucky, they partnered with the right one, because they would have never got $1 from Too Loud, but now they will, unfortunately. I think they're really cool, dude. And whether you want a handheld, whether you want dock it to your desktop, that's your choice. I think, like, for people to keep in mind, like we said earlier, the Beast with the Pro mobile dock, that's still another option for you to plug into your desk, to your computer. You don't even have to have the Beast, really. You could get the Pro mobile dock and any other glasses and plug them into your computer. But
Rayneo's in the Pro mobile dock.
I mean, you can get the Rayneos with the Pro mobile dock, and now you have a setup for what, like $350, $400 that you can plug into your desktop and have a good time. But I think they're cool, bro. 240 hertz. We haven't seen that on a set yet. I would like to experience that. I know Clef would like to experience that. I know we've spent many hours just asking GG, because GG was the first one able to get them. And dude, I know we're all really, really curious about the performance of them. Like, how much are they downscaled to get that 240p? How does it look? And I know GG does his best, and that's the problem with these products. And it's not the product's fault, right? But it's so hard to show externally what you're seeing inside of the lenses. Like GG and Clef, everybody does such a great job at trying to give you a taste, a little sample of what you're going to get. But at the end of the day, that's all it is. It's a little taste. It's a little sample. It's a little crumb. Like, what you actually experience in real life is so much more. And that's my issue. And like Clef said, it's real. It's just, I need to get real world hands-on with them. I think, honestly, from what I see, from what I hear from GG, dude, GG, this is his thing, right? Like, XR is his thing. And when it comes to this stuff, if GG says it's a W, then it's a W. Like, I trust him wholeheartedly when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah, that is absolutely fair. One thing I want to add a little thing to what you said. Like, yeah, I agree with everything. The one thing that I feel like I want to address is, no, actually, through their marketing, they kind of made it complicated. Honestly, they didn't make it clear, because that's the one issue, is we don't understand very clearly how they're achieving that 240 hertz. Some numbers are out there. So what they're doing, they're splitting the vertical resolution. So you have a 1920 per eye. So they say 4K, but it's not 4K, but technically, if you add two panels of the same thing, it's 4K. Anyways, it's complicated. It's really not, but whatever. But the 1080p, it's split into 540 hertz. That we 540 p. I'm sorry. That we know for a fact that they're doing. But what is unclear is, how are they achieving 240 hertz? Is it a pure signal, or is it an interpolated signal? And that's where there's this whole confusion. I've been blessed gaming into 240 hertz plus for at least half a decade. I'm using a 360 hertz. The reality is, if right now I was on a 120 and I bought a 360, I'd probably tell you, I can't tell you the difference. But a couple of months later, when I dial it back to 120, then it's obvious. Only then. It's almost like it takes training. So that's why I need that hands-on experience, is because I've been working with 360 hertz. I will see it if I dial it back from 240 to 120. But the reality still is that the difference is very minimal. So yeah, like, interpolation 240 and native 240 doesn't feel exactly the same. And that's what I want to see, so that I can understand. But beyond that, S tier. Like, well, maybe price and the whole thing that we talked about. But yeah, I lean a lot on Gigi on that, and thank you, Gigi. You've countless hours in Discord, and then your videos also that I've watched. I'm excited to try them. Hopefully, soon. Wink, wink, wink.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think we're gonna be trying them
For the record, the audience that are still watching out there, let me just say, I did not twist their arms to make this show. They actually twisted my arms. I just in case you're all thinking, no, he's cracking the whip. He's making them all talk about his own stuff. Okay, I just want to make that clear. Anyway, thank you all, especially thank you out there for watching and tolerating these bad dad jokes from me, of course. And thank you on the panel too for your glazing. Okay, so yeah, in terms of this, like for me personally, it's S if it later comes as its own standalone, like product. The way that it's bundled now, even not knowing what the price is with the Xbox Ally X, I have to put it at the top of A just because it's so expensive. Like, we've gone back and forth, and if you haven't seen it, exactly what all these gentlemen have already said, go and check out that episode, that special Speedcast Unhinged broadcast that we did last week, where we talked about the Xbox Ally X 20th anniversary. We kind of did a whole breakdown and everything like that. I like the glasses a lot. Are they perfect? Definitely not. Just because a number of different reasons. But one thing I will show you is what I was referencing earlier when I talked about the Xreal One Pros. Right before we get out of here, which is this thing here. If I can figure out how to show this on screen here. So if you can see this here, I'm actually going to stop sharing so you can see a little bit better. If you can see this here, what I was mentioning with the corner of the glasses themselves, they have very cleverly sidestepped that issue that I was talking about. Take a look here at the corner. Remember, there's this like big space here that you would see through, and then here are the Xreal R1s. Notice how it's shorter, right? And like this is obviously different because of like the style of them, right? So this is the Xreal One Pro, looks identical to the Xreal One S, and then you can see, because like it's not immediately obvious when you look on the outside, but when you look on the inside here, because you're looking through this, you notice less of that edge of that prism that I was talking about, looking through the R1s here. So it's much less of an issue. Whereas when you look through the One Pros, you'll see much more of this bottom part of that frame. And it kind of shows, and basically what it looks like is like, it basically looks like a little like shadow that's like at the corner of the image, right? So it's very clever how they've like sidestepped that issue basically. And that's the thing. These glasses are really good, just really expensive, right? That's the big takeaway here. So I'm just gonna wrap this up with the wild cards here. These are new XBX, not to be confused with Xbox Ally or Xbox Ally X, Xbox. How many Xboxes are there, guys?
Hey, can I make a quick assumption really quick for people?
Yes.
Just really quick regarding the Xreal, the X1s, right? They're called the X1s?
What?
The Xreal
The glasses we were just talking about. That's the Xreal X1s, correct?
Xreal.
Okay, so R1s. Okay, so
ROG.
I kind of have a bit of an assumption here, and I think that some people, like if you are interested in them when the X20 comes out, there are going to be people who want the X20 and don't want the glasses. To make sure to peep your secondhand markets, because that will be an opportunity for you to get these at a cheaper price point. I think if they try them, then they'll be crazy to get rid of them. But there are people out there that just it's not their type of deal. So keep an eye out on that secondhand market, and you may be able to find some and score some for a good price.
Very true. Very true. All right. So I'm just going to wrap up here with this last assumption. We got the Rayneo GT Max, which have not released yet. And these are the XBX or X. It's X by Xreal. Again, not to be confused with Xbox. These are supposed to be their budget entry level, essentially. I'm putting them right next to the Xreal Air 2s because they don't have any of those bells and whistles. They don't have the dimming, anything like that. But they're supposed to come in at a very cheap price point. They are releasing on July 13th, I believe. In the US, they are already available in China. They're China exclusive right now. And these are Rayneo's new glasses, which are also not out, but these are touting the highest FOV out of all of these, including the Viture Beast, which have a 58. These are touting 59 degrees FOV. But if they're anything like the previous Rayneos, you know, they don't have all those bells and whistles and stuff. So for me personally, I'm going to say if they can hit a good price, it's going to be S tier. Xreal, it's probably going to be A or B. I don't know. What do you guys think? Just make your
my I would say Xreal XBX would probably make it A tier, but would probably knock R2 to B tier. But you know, we just can't define that yet.
Yep.
And GT Max would probably do the same for the 4 Pros and however, I would still keep the 4 Pros would probably still remain S tier, just behind the GT Max is most likely how it's gonna go. But yeah, that would be my take.
Okay. What do you get? Too Loud Jedi. What do you make your speculation? Tinfoil hazmat suit.
I think it's hard to speculate, right? Like I think right now we know what the Air 4 Pro is. So to automatically just push them down based off of something that we're not totally sold on yet, it's kind of tough. I can understand why Clef says to do that. As far as the Xreals, I don't know what budget looks like for Xreal, so I'm a little bit concerned.
They don't have a budget, right?
Like the estimate is like $300. The estimate is $300. Like the yuan, the Chinese yuan conversion is about $300.
Okay. Well, if they're around $300, I guess, you know, the back of A tier somewhere. Yeah, I'm comfortable with the placements. I think it's good. I don't really know what to expect. I got to see them in person really to see what they have to offer.
All right. How about you, Jedi?
So I agree with him 100%. I'm having a hard time putting the Rayneos in front of the 4s because I mean, do we know an exact price and what feature sets are we missing, you know, or getting or adding to make it, you know, above the 4s? I'm struggling with that. So and the same thing with the Xreals. I mean, I was thinking the same thing too. Do they even have the budget line? $300 is pretty cool. I mean, but what are we getting? How much are they scaling down? That's like, you know, that's like Rayneo selling a cheap device. You know, what are you losing out of it?
That's exactly who I thought about when I thought budget. I was like,
yeah. I mean, that Rayneo selling a PAM. Oh, it's the best budget device. It's only got the worst ghosting of any screen ever. You know.
All right, so we should before we get out of here, there was a great question. Clef, do you mind covering it in terms of?
Well, we have a couple to cover. We actually have 2 questions from. Let me just switch to my fan pad again. Thank you for the super chats. Greatly appreciated, and thank you to everyone who are here hanging out with us. So the first question was from PJ the Trucker. Lens type might be a good differentiator. Pancake. Okay, maybe that wasn't a question. Maybe that was just more of an input. Thank you.
I touched that earlier, and GG kind of kept going with it throughout.
Absolutely.
So.
Can you?
But thank you, PJ.
Thank you very much. Can you rank image quality specifically for the Air 4 Pro, 1S, and Beast? Who wants to take that one first? Super quick.
I mean, you guys are welcome to.
I'll go for it. I would say Air 4 Pro first. Funny enough, it's really Rayneo achieves phenomenal audio and image. I would go Beast second and 1S. How they could almost be neck and neck. Beast might give you just a little bit more flexibility because you start from a higher FOV. So for me, I don't necessarily think of it as a benefit, but I will still give it a slight edge because of that. And it's to be expected. It's more expensive, right? So yeah, that would be my rank.
So for me, if we're talking about those 3 and we're talking image quality specifically, and you mean like brightness, contrast, you know, like clarity, that type of stuff, I would actually put the 1S top. You know, just because I mean the Air 4 Pro is so close, but it's the reflections. The 1S handles reflections slightly better, like not a whole lot better, but like slightly better. And then actually behind the 1S, I would actually then put the Beast, not because the Beast necessarily has complete better image quality over the Air 4 Pro, but because like you have those adjustments and you can make the image basically as clean as you need to be, and it has the bigger the bigger FOV. If you're talking about just like what has the best overall image, like it's a toss up. Like it's very hard for me. I would say like it's between the Beast and the 1S. It really depends. For me personally, like I really like that the real 3D, which is why if I'm just watching movies or whatever, I would probably use the 1S or like the R1s that I have, like one of the Xreal glasses. But if I'm playing video games, like I want the Beast because I want the larger FOV. I want something like more immersive. I want it to take up as much of my vision as I possibly can, you know. So I don't know if that was like helpful or not. Like watch my through the lens videos. That's all I'll say. It's pretty close. Yeah. What do you guys think? I know you guys didn't watch my videos.
You want to go Jedi or you want to go Jedi or you want me to go?
Well, I don't have any experience with the 1S. I mean, the picture quality on the 4s is phenomenal. And again, it was my first venture into it. But then, and I got to play with the Beast. And I mean, some of the features that you're talking about, like making adjustments on the Beast, you're gonna have to teach me because I didn't even mess with any of that. You know, I just kind of plugged it up and started playing it with the Switch. And, you know what I mean? So you're gonna have to teach me that stuff because now I'm like feeling like I'm missing out on some other cool stuff. You know, but picture quality, I don't know. I think like overall picture quality, I think the 4s were good. And I don't know if I'm looking at it wrong, but I did notice with the 4s, the bottom of the screen is almost look like vignetting, almost, so to speak, you know, at the bottom, where I didn't notice that with the Beast. It was a little bit clearer. I don't know if that's just me, if I was wearing them wrong or something, but I don't know. So if I had to pick between the two, I'd probably pick the Beast over the 4s just because of that one. But I want to know more about this other. You have to. We'll talk more offline, or everybody come jump in.
I guess
and talk with us.
I guess we're gonna break off even Steven here because I'm gonna go with my boy Clef. I'm gonna go Air 4 Pros. Just right out of the box, dude. Like image quality is amazing. I really want to preface this by saying like how freaking good are the Air 4 Pros at their price point to even be compared to the Beast and the 1S. Like how freaking good is that, you know? But the Air 4 Pros, the brightness, you guys know I'm a brightness snob. Like the brightness on the Air 4 Pros, insane. I don't use the Air 4 Pros without the cover, so I'll specify that. Like the cover's permanent for me. That's a permanent accessory to those glasses for me.
Same here.
The one thing, like I said, out of the box, the Air 4 Pro all day. The one thing that the freaking Beast like just comes through and just is like freaking like it just grabs the Rayneo and it's like, get out of here. But it's at a cost. Is that 1200p, dude? That 1200p, like having that more top and bottom, but is that $250 better? I can't say it is. Like honestly, like I can't say like it, and I know there's more features to the Beast for that 250, right? I'm not turning a blind eye to that, but talking for image quality specifically, like I would have to, just because of price to performance, I would have to give it to the Air 4 Pro off rip. The Beast, maybe the Beast and the 1S are interchangeable. I haven't really messed with the 1S, so I'll take you guys this opinion on that. But if the 1S doesn't do 1200p, then the Beast all day over the 1S.
1S is 1200p.
Okay, so interchangeable.
1S is 1200p, but correct me if I'm wrong, GG. I know Viture has a feature to color correct, which the 1S doesn't.
The 1S doesn't on board. You have to go through like a calibration system thing.
Wait, Viture has it on board now?
No. I mean, they both like you have to color calibrate them both. The Xreal R1s have it on board. You can I mean, like you can change the saturation if I remember correctly, and some of you can change a couple of different settings on the R1 that you couldn't on the previous ones. But all the glasses, they have a temperature change, to be fair. And the Viture ones, yeah, you do have more finite tuning on the website though, to your point. I think what you were mentioning, right?
Yep.
So yeah, that's those are you guys brought some really great points. I think for people who are
I can't see anybody anymore. I just want to say that.
Yeah, I just wanted to say also, if you're coming from the handheld specific space, and you should be, because this is not big glasses with pictures inside of them united. That's not what we are, right? So if you are from handheld space, from everyone on the panel here, I think it like we're all in agreement that the Rayneo Air 4 Pro, and very much so to like an extent the Rayneo Air 3S. I mean, guys, it was the Steam Deck before Steam Deck was $950.
Yep.
You know, if I'm making that analogy, I said Ally X and Ally before. I actually think a better comparison is Steam Deck OLED is the Rayneo or Air 4 Pro, and Steam Deck LCD is the Rayneo Air 3S. You know, like they're both amazing, right? Not for the price now. But and if we wanted to look at the other ones like the the Xreal One S or the Beast, like those things were like our x86 handhelds, like particularly if you got a good price on like the Legion Go S, amazing device, right? Not with the prices that they might be now, but if you got it on sale during Black Friday, you pay more, but you got something way more performant, and it does a lot more things than a Steam Deck could do.
We have two more questions to tackle super quick, but one I'm going to need your help because when I refreshed, I lost it. But I put in the studio chat from Mojal. He had a question. Can you see it?
Okay, so Mojal, you asked what the best budget, mid-tier, and Halo.
So that's the second one. There should be another one before that. Do you see it?
You mean about how to connect these two handhelds?
Oh yes,
That one?
yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
That's easy to tackle.
Yeah.
The one exception is Switch 1 and Switch 2 because they had their own thing. But anything else like cell phone, handheld PCs, even some MacBooks, Mac PC is a little bit of a different beast because you may not get video through the Type-Cs on your board. But as long as you have all DP or video out of the USB-C, it works. In fact, it even works with my Osmo Pocket 4, and apparently it doesn't work with the Osmo Pocket 3 that we found out right before recording. So yeah, it's super easy. It's really plug and play for the devices that it supports.
Yep. And I was mentioning earlier, if that has like HDMI out, you might be able to use an adapter and then like convert that signal. If it doesn't work, it might need to be like an active HDMI, something like that. But usually, as Clef said, if it supports a DisplayPort alt mode through USB-C, it's going to support any one of these XR glasses. Now, whether like all the features and stuff are enabled, like that's a totally different. That's outside of the scope of this video. But yeah, to get the video, to get the image going, like that's really all you need. And it doesn't matter. So to that point, if you had like one of the older like Pixel phones, it's not going to work because like they didn't have video out through that port.
Google deserves to be memed for this.
Absolutely. Yep.
And then the last question, Mojal also has best budget, mid-tier, and Halo, and that's probably the perfect way to finish. So rapid fire, who wants to start it? Best budget, mid-tier, and Halo. Halo being the best, I would assume.
Or like yeah, it's like a 5090. That's what it is. The Halo.
Yeah. Anyway, who wants to tackle it first?
I will. God, best budget is Air 4 Pro all day. Budget king. I was just watching Naruto in here. It's so good. Freaking mid tier would be. I mean, Halo. For me, Beast. Halo's Beast. And then mid tier is kind of a toss up for me, to be honest with you. Like if I'm being truly honest with you, pick anything. It doesn't matter. Like there's a good budget and there's a good Halo, and there are Halos that can interchange with the Beast, but those are the two for me. I don't have a mid tier.
So I'll tackle next. Best budget, easily Air 4 Pro. Mid-tier, if you can find them, definitely Pro XR, because you'd be shocked at just how good they hold up to the entire list that we did tonight. So definitely best mid-tier if you can find them. And Halo definitely would be the R1, because in my mind, if we're talking budget and mid-tier, Halo is like no holds bar, doesn't matter the price. R1 gives you all the bells and whistles. The only thing you don't have is the integration with accessories that Viture have produced. But, well, some accessories, because some are brand agnostic. So I would say Halo R1s. Yep.
Question really quick, just because I was gonna do Pro XR for mid tier, but then I thought about how much they're selling for right now, and I was like, God, they're cheaper than the budget option.
Yeah, but they're arguably better built. But keep in mind, the
more
Air 4
feature packed, I guess.
More feature packed, but the Air 4 still have like very obvious benefits in terms of the image clarity, the audio. So it's not like, you know, the Pro XR have everything over the Air 4 Pro. So yeah.
All right, I'm gonna shut up and watch Naruto again.
All right, I will go next. The best budget, yeah, it's got to be the Air 4 Pro. I mean, if you're really on a budget, then I guess the Air 3S. You know, but I do feel like it is worth paying, you know, the extra $50 or whatever, because you do get that lens shield in the box, and you know, you have these are, to be clear, they're budget, but these are the only, you know, technically AI, or the technically, whether it's AI HDR or real HDR, like XR glasses out there. So if that matters to you, like, it doesn't really matter to me, because like the blacks and everything on the OLEDs are so good already. But like, if that matters to you, if that's the game changer, then like, clearly this is the way to go. You know, Air 4 Pro. Mid tier, actually, this is kind of cheating, but I feel like I would say Luma Pro, but not new. So Luma Pro, either like, you know, self shill, use my discount code, not at the price that it is, not for 500. It's got to be less. Like, use a discount code, doesn't have to be mine. Use Clef's. You get 10% off. It's like 450. I know that's expensive, but if you go refurbish from Viture's official store, it's under $400. I just checked. It's like 380, 370. You know what I mean? For what it is, the Luma Pro, yeah, it does a lot. So that would be my mid-tier pick. And then Halo, honestly, it's a toss-up. Like, R1, I think, for gaming and like general media consumption, because yeah, you have access to the 240 hertz, whatever the 240 hertz mode actually is. It exists. And the real 3D that I keep talking about and I keep plugging, like, I love that mode for watching videos and stuff. Like, he's talking about watching Naruto. He hadn't seen the Naruto in 3D, bro. It's like you're getting Rasengan to the face, bro. You know, it's like, it's absolutely amazing.
Dude, I forgot about AI HDR. Like, for non-HDR content and using AI HDR.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh,
it's
dude.
Good. Yeah. But then so that would be from like a gaming media consumption side. But if you're going to do productivity, like, and your thing is more Beast wins hands down, because like Beast, you can do all the, you know, you can get the 3D software on, you can get like on the software, immersive 3D on Windows or Mac. You can use Spacewalk to get up full, you know, 3 different windows and stuff. Like, that's the clear, and the higher 1200p, like, that's the clear winner if you're going to do work. And then, so if you're work first and then gaming second, like, Beast is the way. If you're gaming first and you're probably not going to do work, then, you know, I think that flips on its head, really. So yeah, that's mine. All right, close us out here, Jedi.
Oh man, I'm more the same. I don't have. I mean, honestly, I don't have a mid tier, so I'm gonna put that out there. My mid tier would be, just based on the experience I've seen with you guys. My budget is the Rayneos. They're amazing, you know, and the Beasts. I you know, you guys can tell can't speak high enough about them. For that very reason, for productivity, and just the experience has been great. For between the productivity and then the experience, my gaming experience that I purposely, when I was playing with them and tested them, it was always outside. It was always midday, and it was always outside, and it's stellar. Whether I'm sitting out in the sun, sitting on a swing, sitting on the front porch, it's stellar. Not just the electrochromatic lenses, electrochromatic, is that the correct pronunciation? I can never get it right.
Mm-hmm.
But the audio quality, yeah, the audio quality of the Harman audio was just spectacular. Outside, you can hear. I mean, just awesome. But mid tier, just like I said, there's something special about those Lumas, and watching Clef naked in the bathtub wearing the Lumas. The Lumas was just something special. They have to be bare minimum mid tier, bro. You know.
Okay, well, that's that's kind of an awkward way to end that episode, but you know, as good as any, I guess.
Wait, is Clef turning red?
Maybe. Thank you, No Tech Dad, for the Prime membership. Thank you very much, No Tech Dad, for the support, and everyone who's been here watching. Thank you all.
Yes, thank you all.
I wanted to end it by saying, now GG ruined it for me, because I want to get Rasengan to the face. But like, now I don't want anything to the face after what I heard Matt say.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
You got a Susano thank you to that.
So you want a
Yes.
Shigori to the, you know what?
Yep. All right, thank you everyone, and be sure to catch us again on Speedcast. We'll be back very soon. We'll have lots of spicy takes on FSR and Intel and whatever team that you decide to back Too Loud with. All right, catch you in the next one.